All right, guys. Happy Friday. Welcome to Sabby Sabs Podcast. I'm your host, Sabrina Salvati. If you are new, I want to let you know Sabby Sabs Podcast is a part of Revolutionary Blackout Network. You can catch me there on Thursdays for the Roundtable and Friday for the Sabby Show. And you can catch me here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going to start out tonight with a special guest. Indy Left News is here. Hi, Indy.
Hi, Sabby. So good to be on this show. My God, I've watched it like so much, and I love watching it. And even Kayla likes to wave at the screen and go, "Hi, Sabby," even though she knows you can't see her. So cute.
Awesome. Well, Indy, let's start out by you telling everyone like how you got involved in independent media to begin with.
Yeah, I was just a follower and a fan initially, and in my previous job, had a way to do digital marketing and aggregating of content. I had a newsletter program, so I figured out how to kind of gather all these streams and feeds from all these different independent websites and put them into one website, which is called independentleft.news. And then I made a Substack and YouTube, and it's just evolved into a whole thing. And I love it. It's really to amplify independent content creators who are calling out imperialism. And really, I was inspired by Bernie getting knifed and the corporate media narrative and propaganda that's being pushed out there. And we've got to fight that and counter that.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Indy actually has a Substack, and he does like the newsletter where he will list like what he considers to be the top videos of that week from independent left news, as well as articles as well. That's actually how I found out about Caitlin Johnstone, was because of your Substack.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So the Substack actually is leftist today. So Independent Left News has like a fire hose of like over 100 articles and videos and tons of content, and it's updated every day. So I figured, how do I pull out just like the top 5 or 6 articles and videos initially? Now I'm just doing the videos on Substack, and Substack allows you to actually embed them. So you can watch any of those videos. And it's not necessarily the top. I like to think they're the top, but it's just a sample of what's happening out there. That's probably a good base. And if you want to see more, go see it on the website, because there's so much more good content there as well, in addition to the ones that we've included. So I put out a Substack, and that summarizes. That's usually toward the end of the day. And then we do a show on YouTube every Sunday called "How Did We Miss That?" That came out of the Substack and out of the newsletter, where I found that there were few articles that really weren't being covered, but were really important, and literally were, how did we miss that? So we do about half a dozen articles every Sunday night, and then we do clips throughout the week. And now we do an interview show where you were my first guest. So Friends of Indy Left started in 2022, and I've interviewed Afeni and the Bank Sisters, a lot of people that have been on this show actually, because we have the same fans, and we like a lot of the same things, and a lot of our content aligns. And again, I like to amplify independent content creators that are talking about anti-imperialism, that are talking about the wealth inequality out there, that are talking about education for all, healthcare for all, that are the issues that really affect us right now. That's what you're doing, and that's what RBN is doing. That's what MCSC is doing. God, that's what so many different networks and channels are doing. And so yeah, then I kind of saw what was happening there, and all these newer channels were popping up in 2020 and 2021 and 2022. And because of the aggregation and because of the topics that we cover, we're finding all of these newer channels that are coming up, and reached out to all of them and said, hey, why don't we kind of collectively put our heads together? And there's strength in numbers, and we can help each other with production, and we can help each other with guests on each other's shows, and sharing links when we go live, and talking about audiences, and sharing moderators for streams. And it's been awesome. So we came together, and we called it Indie News Network, which kind of surprising, right? But so there's now 19 members. You've heard of a lot of our channel members. Everybody has an independent channel of their own, where they're creating their own content, and then they also contribute to this central entity, where there is a central YouTube channel and a central Substack so that we can publish and kind of collectively share with each other's audience. But we also do kind of like RBN, and inspired by what you guys have done, roundtables and marathon streams. We did a student debt marathon. We're getting involved in, kind of sponsoring and co-sponsoring and solidarity with the National March for Medicare for All, where we co-hosted their stream last month. And all of this is happening for the fans and for the people that are out there, because again, we're trying to counter the 15 companies that control what everybody's seeing, thinking, and hearing outside of our 100,000 to 200,000 people that follow all of our channels, right?
Right. And some of the commentators from N have also been on here in RBN. You guys are familiar with some of them, like Colin, Rob Durden has been on here a couple of times, as well as RBN. Lucy has also been on here. So we've had, and also Kobe.
Daryl.
Yeah.
Kobe, Daryl from Black in the Empire, Millennial Splaining, Bess, she's with us. Tara Reid, of course, the wonderful Tara Reid, who I was speaking with earlier today. And shout out to Tara Reid. Everybody go follow Tara Reid if you're not already. Go to her Patreon too. Give her a shout out, hook her up, say hi, tell her you love her. She could really use the love, and we all do love her, and we're trying to support her as she got everything yanked out from under her thanks to the RT pulling out from the United States. Chris Legion, Angel Rivera was actually censored off of Twitter today.
What?
Silly. Yep, his Twitter account's been suspended for 6 days, and of course, no, can't forget to mention Uncle Warren, and my brother Reef. Reef is the other half of the engine that makes INN and Indie Left go. He's a lot of the tech guy behind the scenes, and he does 3 shows himself now, and he wasn't even streaming a year ago. It's pretty wild. He just learned all this stuff, and it's incredible to see everybody kind of come together and flourish and grow and support each other and be a team and become a family. And that's really what this whole space is. And that's what we have to continue to grow it to be. Kumbaya, right? But it actually does happen.
Now, you had an incident, we've been talking a lot about censorship on this show. You had an incident recently with Discord. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting thing where all of a sudden there was a global outage on March 8th. It was about a month ago, I believe yesterday or today. And when it came back up, I was unable to log back into my account, and there was no warning. There was nothing. And I got an email that was saying that my account was permanently disabled because I was either directly sharing misinformation or participating in a server that was dedicated to misinformation. They didn't say what that misinformation was. They gave me no examples. They gave me no attempt to resolve it. They didn't even tell me which server it was. Now, I wasn't the only one that was suspended and had my account turned off by any stretch. Reef as well had his turned off. The Convo Couch lost its entire Discord server. And I believe Esha at Historically also lost her Discord server during that period as well. They never explained they never gave any reasoning, and they claim they really don't have to. And a lot of time and effort was put into that. I lost DMs and the access to admin a dozen Discord servers, including yours.
Yep.
And and that, even the ability to publish a news update to an announcement channel that went out to a dozen servers that were subscribed to that channel, that all got ended when Discord just decided to pull the plug. Again, censorship, but unexplained and random to a point. Now, was my account being reported by somebody? I don't know. Did they have a filter that said that if you had X words that had come from your account at any point? I don't know what the answer is. They never gave me one.
Right.
And now that account is permanently disabled.
Exactly. And what people may not realize is that Indy was an admin for other Discord channels. So he was helping a lot of us. Like, I did not know how to manage Discord. Indy probably remembers that meeting. I was like, what is this? But
the way I explained Discord Discord's a way for the fans to stay connected when you're not streaming, and it's a way for you to stay more connected to your community on a more one-to-one personal basis. I just think it's a phenomenally powerful tool, and it was really disappointing and sad to see what happened. I do spend a lot of time in Discord, and I had spent a lot of time learning the platform and understanding how to engage with people and how to set up automation so that when you publish a YouTube video, it automatically posts into your Discord. So it becomes like a little world all about Sabby, and you can have a channel dedicated to cooking if you're interested in cooking, and share links about cooking and automate streams with cooking and do all kinds of cool stuff. We weren't doing anything spreading misinformation. We're trying to amplify independent content creators. Now, my Discord server is still up, by the way. It was just my account that got disabled, which is kind of weird.
Yes, it's very strange. Now, you recently got on Rockfin, correct?
Thank goodness. Yes. Oh, my God. I've been a fan and follower and supporter of Rockfin for close to 2 years. Richard Medhurst and Graham Elwood, to their credit, back about 2 years ago when pandemic started, talked about Rockfin and it being crypto-based. And I got into the Ray token even, I think it was last December, I started to buy a little bit of Ray token to figure out, because I was a believer in all the independent streamers that I like are on there. It's a lot, just what you're looking for and no other fat effectively. Now, at the time, there wasn't nearly as much content. And in the year since, look at how it's grown. And yeah, I'm honored to be able to have a channel and to be able to stream there and put my shows on there and clips and to see my picture in the little circle up there next to yours is kind of surreal and an honor. And I just want to share stuff that everybody else makes, and you guys are great, really. You're doing amazing work. So I love amplifying you and everybody else in this space. And again, just to be alongside and see that little thing up there with Richard and everybody else, it's just wow,
Yeah,
pretty incredible. And again, thanks to Tara Reid for recommending Indie Left and for Rob Durden, my INM brother. Again, a lot of that is the reason why is I'm trying to help a lot of these content creators that are actually on the platform. And we've been reaching out to Rockfin and saying, hey, what we'd love to do is have a team that did some live stream clipping with you guys so that while the streams are live, and let's see if we can improve the platform and get you guys to RSS so that so it can feed out to more platforms and it can be grabbed in different ways, because Rockfin's kind of isolated right now. And we'd love to be able to get more people involved. A lot of people don't even realize that you can watch videos for free without actually having to even sign up for an account.
Right.
Or that you can sign up for a free account without having to pay for a premium. Sorry.
Right. And it didn't used to always be that way. It used to be you had to sign up for an account. And I think they were really good about listening to the feedback from the audience about that. So they removed that. But to give everybody an idea what Indy's talking about, if you haven't been on Rockfin, there aren't as many people on Rockfin like YouTube. Like, you have to apply to become a creator on Rockfin. And that's because Rockfin doesn't want to get too big too fast. It's more like a worker co-op. So you actually meet the people who manage Rockfin. Like, so when I got on Rockfin, there was a meeting scheduled where they show you how to do what you need to do, an actual person. You don't have that with YouTube, obviously, right? So that's why you don't see as many people on there. I wish more people would watch Rockfin, because there's content on there that you're just not going to see on YouTube. Like Max Blumenthal has a show on there that is not on YouTube for obvious reasons. Yep. But I think that I think people just need to get used to the platform a little bit more. Also, I was going to ask you, have you checked out Odyssey?
Oh, yeah, we're on Odyssey as well. Actually, weird enough, I set up Odyssey before I had 300 subs to my YouTube channel, and I was manually uploading videos to that channel. And then once you get to 300 subs, they'll actually automate and back up your YouTube channel. So whenever you upload a video to YouTube, it'll just go to your Odyssey channel. The problem is they put that on a second channel. So now I actually technically have two Odyssey channels, one which I actually use for live streaming, and one which just backs up the YouTube videos that are uploaded as clips and the daily summaries of the top videos that I'm summarizing in the Substack, which I put out daily as well on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, everywhere we can put it out. I'm everywhere.
And I want to show you guys really quick what it looks like. What Indy's new network looks like on YouTube. So this is
Yeah, cool.
Indy News Network. And you'll see here he has all of his social media here.
Yeah, I actually, if you go to the Twitter one has all the circles with everybody's picture. If you go to twitter.com/getindynews, I don't know if you can bring that up. But here, I can put this in the chat, the private chat.
Oh, I found it.
But that'll have a banner that has a picture that has all the members from the network. And again, we've got Colin, and there you go. And we've got Jesse Jett, who recently joined our network, and Black in the Empire, Daryl, and Elias Cepeda, and Reef and Chris Legion. So you'll see everybody there. And again, that's twitter.com/getindynews. I can't put it in there because I'm not modded on your channel, but that's okay. Everybody can go to Get Indy News on Twitter, indynews.network on Instagram, Indy News Network, and just look up Indy News Network on YouTube as well. We have a Facebook page, but nobody really uses Facebook right now in our space. We're on Rumble. We're on Twitch. We're on Odyssey. We got channels everywhere.
Yeah, I still haven't done Rumble yet. I got a little bit confused.
So if you click on that right there, there's a link tree. There's a link tree right there. That is like the main website where you can find all the different pages for Indy News Network. So that's where you can find our YouTube and our Rockfin and links to all those different channels, as well as a link to find all the different members and connect to all of their channels.
Exactly.
No, a tree for trees.
Who and what is end? Oh, whoops.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was sharing.
That's a Substack post. I think that's a Substack post. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Is it Meet the Members? Is down at the bottom? I put it at the bottom, top. I don't even know what it did.
It says
changes every day. Sorry.
What and who is end? So here's the link tree here, you guys. And then I'll share the Substack one as well. Definitely check it out, you guys. Like, they did a student loan boycott summit, which was very good. Very, very good. And again, here it shows you all of the people. It's really cool.
Right Definitely at the top, right at the top of the link tree, there's a button for Meet the Members. That's a Substack post. So we also have a Substack, indynewsnetwork.substack.com, where all of us have the ability to publish to it. We have The Dissident, for example. He's been publishing some fire posts about Ukraine, and I actually co-wrote an article with him a couple weeks ago about the propaganda and misinformation that's happening out there. Lucy, Blue Moon Red Wine, she's fire. She's doing awesome. She actually just interviewed Fiorella. And again, a lot of this stuff is making it up to INN. Reef just started a news show called INN News. So again, you can find all the members and all of their channels. And if they don't have a link tree to all their channels, I just link to their Twitter or their Instagram or wherever you can find them. And we've got Luis, and we've got Jesse Jett and Bess. So many members. And again, all of us are our own individual, independent content creators, but we come together to help each other and support each other and make a family and amplify each other. And it's been amazing. It's only 5 months old, and it's still growing.
Absolutely. Now, Indy, what are some of the issues you've been dealing with in reference to the algorithm? We talk about that a lot on here, so just to let you know.
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, algorithm suppression is prevalent all over. Getting through, especially again, I follow a channel called Nay's Garden, and he says, you have the toughest job in the world because you're independent and the algorithms hate the word independent, and you're left and the algorithms hate the word left. And all the content that we're talking about, which challenges narratives, which questions the Biden administration, which questions big tech, which is asking questions that they don't really have answers to or don't want to answer. Yeah, they're definitely suppressing that content on top of the fact that corporate media is paying for the placement that they weren't paying for before. So what happened to YouTube, to me, part of it was that corporate media realized that, especially during pandemic, that's where the eyeballs were. They were leaving the traditional networks. They were watching YouTube as often, or they were watching YouTube simultaneous to watching a corporate network on mute. They were watching a ball game while watching something on YouTube. So MSNBC and NBC, and they bought placement at the top. And they basically priced us out of the market, where YouTube used to be available to anybody that had good content. Then it was only available to people that were willing to pay. And it's the sponsored content becomes more and more prevalent. They're trying to sell them YouTube TV and premium subscriptions and family premium subscriptions, and then the add-ons to that. I mean, this whole thing's just become a huge money-making enterprise for Google.
Yeah, it's true. And someone actually messaged me on Facebook yesterday and told me that Garland Nixon is actually trying to start a separate, or wants to start a separate left, like independent network that's not on YouTube. And apparently he's trying to raise money for that. I didn't know about that. I'm going to try to see if I can get Garland to come back on. But Jordan Sheraton had mentioned this before too. There needs to be a network off of YouTube that's just left independent media. Now, what all that entails and how that will work, I don't know. But I do know that I don't consider David Pakman left, but I do know David Pakman has like a Roku channel. So does TYT. I think it would also be good to have people on radio. I think that would be good as well. So I want to get your opinion about that. Like, what do you think would be a better alternative?
Well, I think INN and MCSC and RBN, for example, could potentially come together and spend the money on a license for a Roku channel. Potentially, I think it's a few $1,000s a year. It's not cheap, so somebody's got to fund all of this. These other corporate networks are not user funded. They are very well funded, and they're funded by profitability, by advertisers. And this is what we're up against. And if you don't want to go that route, you've got to figure out a way to get funded either by somebody who is benevolent and not going to try to influence your content. And shout out to Susan Sarandon if she's watching. Susan, I know you got some pretty powerful people that love us. Roger Waters, shout out to Roger Waters. He's there for every action, but he's also got some wealth behind him. And we need people like that. Joe Rogan, look, you got the money from Spotify. Spend 10 million of that 100 million and build yourself a real independent network that can not censor you for no matter what you do. We're going to need funding like that from people within the space that don't want to influence their narrative, but really want to make it truly independent for everybody. Without that, we're going to have a real hard time, and we're going to be playing what I like to call platform whack-a-mole, jumping from platform to platform as they censor us. And we're going to be one step ahead, whether that is with Super U or with D-Live or with, and there's new platforms, Locals and Minds. I mean, there's 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 platforms that none of us are really on yet. There's another one called Circles. And these are newer, earlier fledgling platforms that at some point may develop out into something if the major social networks don't crush them. But these are places where we're going to probably have to play in order to connect with our audience outside of the mainstream channels and outside of the corporate narrative channels, because they control all the gateways right now. And it's really scary. 15 companies.
I agree. What advice would you give to someone who's thinking about starting a independent news channel?
Do it. Just do it. Turn on a camera, go to anchor.fm and start a free podcast. Turn on a camera and start with YouTube. Get a free StreamYard account. You can go to YouTube and Twitch simultaneously, as well as to either Facebook or Twitter. You can do three different platforms for free. Set up an Instagram, set up a Twitter. Try to be on as many platforms as you can, at least to have a presence, but then focus on 2 or 3 where you're going to really have where you're going to have, I wouldn't call it authority, but at least you'll be known and you'll have a network of people that will see your posts and want to share it. And it depends upon the content you're looking to do as well. Do something that you care about, do something that you're knowledgeable about, do something that you're passionate about educating other people about. People are going to come flocking to that content.
I agree. I would also recommend to people, I would be wary of Facebook. For example, like I have a Sabby Sabs podcast has a Facebook page, but I never stream to Facebook because I've seen too many people be demonetized and removed. Jimmy Dore just mentioned a couple days ago, they're now demonetized on Facebook.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. I mean, the Facebook is not, it's really funny because that's where a lot of the traffic to the website actually does come from, according to the analytics. So Facebook is still driving a lot of the traffic off site. I don't find that their watch content is actually making a lot of money or getting a lot of eyeballs for lefty streamers, although I will give some credit. You mentioned Garland Nixon, who I'm hoping may end up at some point talking to some folks at INN and maybe even joining forces with us as well. But he's doing some streams on Facebook, and we co-stream all of our stuff to Facebook, but it's got a very small audience there, and we share it out to about 50 different lefty type of groups, progressive-ish groups, and MMT groups, people who would be aligned, and there's just very little eyeballs there. I don't know if what it is.
I think
I can tell you that YouTube Rockfin has been like a rocket ship. Like really, it's taken me 2 years to get 700 and change subscribers on a YouTube channel. And by the way, so advice also is don't quit. Stay at it. Stay consistent. Keep doing it. Even when you don't want to do it, keep doing it, because it requires consistency and it's hard. It's not easy to do, but it's rewarding. And in the end, you will get your audience. You will find a niche, and it's fun too. Don't do this unless you want to have fun. I have fun doing this every day. I wake up doing this every day, and plus I have a full-time job, but I still do this every day.
Right. Awesome. Well said. Indy, thanks so much for coming on. Where can people find you one more time before you go?
IndependentLeft.media is my link tree. IndieNews.network, Leftist.today, IndependentLeft.news. And on my YouTube channel, you can find How Do We Miss That and Friends of Indie Left.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for inviting me. It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm a Patreon subscriber. Everybody subscribe to Sabby on Patreon as well. Go give her a sub.
Thanks so much, Indy.
Bye.
Talk to you later. All right, guys. Happy Friday. Welcome. I hope you're geared up for the weekend.